Okay. So again, this chapter is pretty simple, as I mentioned earlier. One, you need to know the terminology, because when you look at a question, you need to identify correctly what are they asking and what data you're given. Okay. So data is something that, it's basically your information. You have primary data, secondary data. What's the difference between primary and secondary data? Can anyone say?
Primary data is like surveys taken and it's like collected first, and then secondary data is like a survey is already conducted and we are just using the data which was given.
Yes. So primary data, you yourself are getting it directly from the source. Secondary is you're getting it, it's a second-hand data. Kahi to suna and somebody else is telling you the information, somebody else is giving you the information, that's secondary. Whatever you're studying right now is secondary data because there is like a teacher or somebody else giving you the information. You yourself are not doing that research that way. But something that you see on Insta, like ki kitna likes aaya or this person, how many posts they've put up, that's primary data because you're directly going to the source and collecting it yourself. Presentation of data. Okay, so data can be presented different ways. If you have ungrouped data, like the example that I gave you, like median example when I took, so this random set of numbers that I've taken is basically your ungrouped data because I haven't categorized it yet. Jaise liya, वैसे I've just noted it down and I've kept it here. Okay. So this is raw ungrouped data. Raw data, there is no change, like the way you collect it, वैसे ही you just keep it. That's raw data. इससे related, like data से related, there's something called range. Range is like kitna range ho raha hai, like from maximum to minimum. So difference between the highest and lowest values. Frequency, you guys know how many times it's occurring. Then you have grouped data. So grouped data is if you're like neatly organizing it, categorizing it, you get grouped data. So depending on the number of times it's occurring, you may prepare frequency tables. Within frequency table, you may take each number at a time, or you may be like 1 to 5 kitna hai, 5 to 10 kitna hai, 10 to 20 kitna hai, like that way. So yeah. So this kind of what it looks like. All of this you guys are familiar with. Quick revision of all of these things. You may be asked like objective type 1 mark question based on these. So first thing, when you're grouping it when in a particular range, right? Like let's take this particular table ka hi example. Here 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, like 10 ke group mein, you're putting it in those classes. First thing, what do you mean by class interval?
Like a parameter.
Can you elaborate?
Like if say 20 to 30, then 5 students are in that range of the data, we could say.
Yes. So that range you are pointing out 20 to 30. So that's a class interval. You're taking an interval of data like 1 to 100 hai, usme se 20 to 30 ka interval le rahe ho. So that is called a class interval. It may also be called just a class. Like each one of this is a class. उसमें होता है एक upper limit, lower limit. Upper limit is very self-explanatory, whatever is the highest value. Lower limit is the whatever is the lowest value in that particular interval. Then you have class size. So class size kya hoga? If I have from 20 to 80, is it 60 or is it something else? What is class size?
Ma'am, will the class size be the difference between the upper limit and the lower limit of the class interval?
Yes. So class size.
Yeah, 10.
Yes. size of the class interval, each class, not the entire data. Then what is 60? If I do 80 minus 20, 60 aa raha hai na, what will that number tell me?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
So class size is size of each class. So that's 10, like 30 minus 20 or 40 minus 30. But if I do 80 minus 20 equal to 60,
Range.
what is this number?
Is this the range?
Yes. So this would be the range, because highest value minus lowest value, na? Highest 80 tak ja raha hai, lowest 20 tak ja raha hai. So my range is 60 for all of this data. Okay. Then class mark. What do you mean by class mark?
Man, it is the upper limit plus lower limit upon 2.
Formula hai, it is written here, but
Midpoint.
So it is the central value, midpoint of each class. So 20 to 30, if you're taking each class, donon ke exact
25.
Yes, 20 plus 30 by 2, 25 would be the class mark. Divya's network has gone or what? Like he's been going on and off, on and off. Yeah, so these are like some terms. So when you have group data like this, यहाँ पे if you observe, एक class ले रहे 20 to 30, दूसरा चालू हो रहा है 30 to 40. So when you have like हर एक class is like sticking to each other. फिर if this is ending with 40, again the next class is starting from 40 itself. This sort of a distribution, because it is continuous, this is called continuous distribution table. So when you construct frequency distribution tables, there are two types. This is called continuous distribution table because you can see each class is like neighboring each other at the same value. Like 22, ye 30 tak khatam ho gaya. So this is starting again from 30 only. So if you kind of like plot a graph, you're taking 20 to 30 ka bar idhar, the next bar is sticking to this. Like all of these values basically form a continuous distribution. Now, instead of 20 to 30, if I construct it in such a way that, I take 21 to 30, then 31 to 40. So 30 tak khatam ho gaya. I'm taking from 31 onwards. 41 to 50 and so on. This sort of a distribution is called discontinuous distribution table. Again, names are self-explanatory. ये continuous है because they're all sticking to each other. यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा gap आ गया, that's why it's called discontinuous. It's not continuous anymore. So if you look at the graph, it's gonna look something like this. यहाँ तक there is 30 here and this is starting from 31 onwards. See, so these are like two major types of frequency distribution table you will come across when you're solving the questions. Okay, so you have continuous distribution table, discontinuous distribution table. Now, all the formulas that you will get in solving the questions will be based on continuous distribution only. Like all the concepts that you apply will be based on continuous distribution. So suppose by chance you come across a distribution like this, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, 51 to 60. We'll just take 4 for now. So what type of distribution is this?
Discontinuous.
Discontinuous, right? So this is discontinuous distribution. If I want to convert this into continuous distribution, तो क्या करूं?
And
Anyone
subtract
want to-
0.5 from the 20 from the lower limit and add 0.5 to the upper limit. So you will have in all classes.
But why specifically 0.5? Like, why can't I just make this 31 and then let this be as 31 to 40?
Because we'll take the difference between the upper limit of the first class and the lower limit of the second class and divide by 2.
Okay, so that way you're getting like a central value between both of this. Okay, so that's where you're getting that 0.5 from. So suppose I didn't take this, like if I took 21 to 28 for 31 to 40, then 0.5 will not hold anymore. So you have to take 30 or 31 are two different numbers, right? You need to find a middle ground between both. So abhi tak, this is what my table is like. There is 30 here, there is 31 here. If I want to make it continuous, both of them have to compromise. This also needs to come some, this also needs to extend some. So dono ka central value will be 30.5. Yeah, like how did I get 30.5? As Puneet said, like difference between these two divided by 2. So यहाँ पे -0.5 हो जाएगा. You will add that particular same difference to the upper limit. So same thing you'll apply to both sides. Okay, so this will become 20.5 to 30.5. And when you're subtracting 31, say 0.5, again you'll get 30.5 to 40.5, 40.5 to 50.5, and so on. So that's converting continuous to discontinuous distribution. Sorry, discontinuous to continuous distribution. There's another question. Like suppose I have, okay, again, we'll take example of continuous and discontinuous only. So discontinuous may I'm taking the same intervals 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, 51 to 60. Discontinuous may, let's say I'm taking 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60. Suppose I have the observation 40. So discontinuous distribution may, in which class is it going to go?
31 to 40.
31 to 40.
31 to 40,
31 to 40.
40 है exact. तो you'll just have to see कौन सा interval में fit हो रहा है. So 31 से लेके 40 तक pretty straightforward, like, because if I consider the next one, this is starting from 41. मतलब 40 is less than 41.
If it had been a continuous table, it would be in 40 to
Aditya,
51.
one step at a time. Okay, so यहाँ पे I'll place the observation 40. Now continuous में, where should I place it?
40 to 50.
40 to 50.
40 to 50.
Why not 30 to 40? यहाँ पे 40 है ना?
So if you're going with that logic, where will you place 60 then if it is present?
So the convention is taken that continuous distribution may, the smaller number is included and the bigger, like the upper limit, is excluded from it. So if I take 20 to 30, this will contain all the numbers starting from 20, 21, so on, up to 29.9999. Then anything more than this, 30 say will be included in the next this thing. So just to avoid this sort of confusion, continuous may, the lower limit is included and upper limit is excluded. So you won't have such problem in discontinuous distribution. Both lower limit and upper limit are included in the same class interval. Okay. So for this reason, they have like alternate names also. So discontinuous distribution is also called inclusive distribution, and continuous distribution is also called exclusive uh, distribution. Okay. So Nikki, to answer your question, if I have 60, then there will be another class 60 to 70 and uska frequency hoga 1 because I have 60 there.
Okay.
So that's the thing. So continuous distribution may the lower limit is included, the upper limit is always excluded. So you guys are right. Agar 40 hai, so it won't be here. We always include it over here. And that uniformity should be there so that you won't make mistakes in your frequency distribution. In your mean, median, mode, baki sare calculations mein, they won't be anomalous if you follow the same system throughout. So certain like these sort of standards and rules are set, like standardized करने के लिए. So class interval group, there you go, inclusive or discontinuous, exclusive or continuous. Graphical representation, you guys have been doing since childhood, drawing bar graphs, pie chart. Visually, you can do that. Frequency polygons, be okay.
But we don't really have to graphical representation is included in this chapter or not?
I don't think so. But even if it is, this is not the primary thing. Like you will be asked questions based on what are the new things that you learned this year. So you don't have to worry about it. But
Okay,
it's the
we're
same
just
thing you've been
confirming.
doing since childhood. Like x-axis hoga, y-axis hoga, based on like frequency is always on the y-axis. X-axis pe you have your observations, and then you plot the bar graph or histogram, whatever, however way you want to show it. This is the main thing that you need to focus on this year, because one, it's a new thing that you're learning this year, which is why in assessment also this is what it'll be, you'll have to focus on. Isme specifically, like whatever you did in grade 9, ungrouped data ke liye, guys can do it easily. You won't be asked questions. Maybe one off question here and there with some twist or something, but mostly not. Okay, just a second, guys. Actually, before we go forward, I want to check with you. You have like median ke calculation mein, apart from the formula, you also have ogives, like ogives, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Do you guys have your books with you? Because now you have to note down these formulas that you have for mean, median, mode.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So we'll start off with mean. We'll do like 2-3 problems related to mean. Then we'll do mode, 2-3 problems related to mode. And then we look at median in the end. Because median may, apart from the formula, I have like ogives also. We'll do that. Okay, mean of given data, direct method is pretty easy. The logic is the exact same, whatever you guys have always learned. So mean is always like represented by bar, x bar. So if you're finding mean of x is the observation here, so x bar. Yeah, so direct method mein mean is x bar equal to sigma fi xi divided by sigma fi. Do you like, are you familiar with these symbols? What it mean? What is sigma, fi, xi?
It means summation of fi/xi.
Yes. Okay. So S for sum, Greek alphabet for S is sigma, which is why this particular symbol is used. This is capital S in Greek. Okay. So this, wherever you see the symbol, it means that ये symbol के बाद जो भी है सबको add करना पड़ेगा. Now this I represents the number, like count, like how many of you are like doing computers, like Python or C or some sort of programming language? Three of you. Okay, just three of you. Anybody else or no? No, if you have an idea of it, it's easier for me to like use that reference. Otherwise, I won't. इसलिए. HTML, okay. HTML, nahi, like I'm looking something like Python or C or Java. Okay, okay, never mind then. Like it's fine. We'll not use that. So this I is basically a counter that is used. So when I say sigma of xi, sigma is means sum, right? Sum matlab minimum 2 hona chahiye, right? Like 2 or 3 or 4 things unko pura add kar sakte hain. So that's what this I represents. So sometimes you'll also see sigma of I equal to 1 to 10, like sigma symbol pe hi this is also written. So this basically means I is going all the way from 1 to some random number n. So n, like think of it as like suppose n ka value 10 hai. So you will count I from 1 to 10. So iska meaning hai you're summing all the x ranging from 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on all the way till x10. So if it's any random number n, till n basically. So that's what the symbol represents. So यहाँ पे sigma fi xi है ना, so इसका meaning है you're summing all f1 x1 plus f2 x2 plus f3 x3 plus all the way divided by sigma fi. So f1 plus f2 plus f3 plus so on. Okay. So that's what the symbol and this whole formula means. So when you have a group table, you have to figure out, like you'll be given the observations like the class intervals and the frequency. So f1, f2, f3 you can directly get from the table. Now this x1, x2, x3, suppose you have 20 to 30 as your class interval. So what value will you take as your observation? Is it going to be 20? Is it going to be 21? It's going to be...
For what, ma'am?
So mean के formula में sigma fi xi है ना. So each of these frequency you'll be directly given in the table itself. Like number of times a particular observation is happening. Now observation itself, where are you going to get this information from?
Xi is the class mark, which is the middle term, 25.
Right. So हर एक इसके लिए you need to calculate, like frequency is given, xi will be the class mark. So just create 2 more columns for your xi and then for f into x, and then after that you just have to sum it and then divide it by the total of the frequency, you'll get mean. Okay, so this is pretty direct. Note down the formula, mean by direct method, this particular formula, and then note down what each of these things mean also. What is x bar, what is fi, what is xi. Once you have noted this down, we will do one example problem based on this.
Done noting it.
Done? Okay. Just keep your hands raised if you're done noting. So once everybody's done, then I can do that question. मानसी अभी के लिए मीन बाय डायरेक्ट मेथड यस सो अभी जो क्वेश्चंस कर रहे हैं we'll just do one question only, so it'll be like formula and an example and formula and an example, so when you're revising also you can see how it is applied directly. Dhruv, Aditya, Amay and Divya, once you guys are also done. Okay, Divya Kandar, what's going on? Okay. Do the first question. Find the mean by direct method. So you're given class interval, number of workers. So दोनों में से what is frequency?
Ma'am, if the table is given, should we make the table or should we?
You should make the table because फिर समझ में कैसे आएगा what is corresponding to 7, what is corresponding to 10. The table is like a tool for you to make the calculation easier basically. So class interval, these are your observations. तो यहाँ से you'll get your x and number of workers क्या है?
Frequency, Fi.
Fi.
So whenever you're not given frequency directly, na, whatever is like number of something, that will be your frequency. Okay. Here. So you first of all check class intervals continuous है या नहीं. अगर नहीं है तो उनको continuous बनाना पड़ेगा. So 10, 10, 20, 20 continuous है, nothing else to do. Class mark 0 to 10 class mark क्या होगा?
5, 15.
हाँ, 10 to 20, 15, 25, 25, 45. So you have your Fi, you have your Xi. Formula में
But
you need Fi, Xi. Yeah, what's up, Puneet?
no, ma'am, nothing.
So make a column for Fi, Xi also. Fi, Xi is nothing but product of f and x. So यहाँ पे जो f है multiply with the x मिल जाएगा. So 7 into 5, 35, 10 into 15, 15 into 25 to be a so multiply each one. So once you're done multiplying all these, finding the multiplied values, you find sigma f equal to or sigma fi equal to. So it's a summation of f. So you just have to add all of these, find what is the value. So 20, 35, 35 plus 15 is 50. and then find sigma fx. So you just need to add all of these values and see. Okay, Anirban's already done. Okay. Into 25 will be 75 and 35 into 8. Okay, Raghav's also done. Both of you got the same answer. Okay. So 35 plus 150 plus 375 plus 250 plus 450. 280 plus 450. Sorry, yeah. Puneet is also done. Ryan got it. Good.
And here, do we need to round it up because number of workers are not in decimal, right?
Number of workers are not in decimal. You shouldn't get frequency in decimal ever.
No, the mean.
So you like this is your observation. So iska mean find out कर रहे हो, whatever this value is. So this, okay, here the information is not given, but it could be the number of hours that a particular worker is working. So 7 of them are working between 0 to 10 hours. It could be the wage in thousands of rupees, like 7 of the workers are getting anywhere between 0 to 10,000 rupees. So this is like your data usually. And central values, you may not always get like exact value. You don't have to round it off. No issues.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So when you're doing like height, weight, wage, like when you're getting like details of something else, you can get decimals. That's not an issue. But this is not the number of workers. Like that clarity you should get. So whenever you're calculating mean, median, mode, it is not your whatever frequency is representing. Keep that in mind. And don't round it off. Like you can round off to 2 or 3 decimal places. Don't round it off to like a proper number. Okay, Mansi.
Ma'am, so if we get like 1.6, we should keep it at 2 or 1.6 only.
Keep it as
Answer.
1.6. That's what I said. Don't round it off. But if it's not purely 1.6, if you're getting like 1.6792 and it's continuing, it's okay to stop at 1.67. So you can leave it as 1.67. But if you have done the division, make it as 1.68. So round like division RR, if you need to round it off to 2 decimal places. Ananya, Ritvik, Aditya, Mansi, Elena have done it. All of you got the right answer, same answer. Isme, it's like applying the formula would be like 30% because you just have to remember the formula and then put the correct values. Bulk of your mental effort will go into calculating. So just train yourself to get a little quicker at that. Because these are like all direct questions. You don't have to spend a lot of mental effort. Calculating mein hi zyada lagega. Neil, Neki, who was this? Amay, Aditya Verlekar, Abhishek Trivedi. Yeah, and Dhruv. Okay, Aditya has also done it. Yeah, 5 people whose names I've called out. Jaldi. Dhruv is done. Okay. Kitna aaya? Neil is also done. Sahi aaya. Aditya Verlekar, is that a typo or did you get a slightly wrong answer. Check. Aditya?
Yeah, I'm checking.
Okay. Neki, what is the
Yes, ma'am.
denominator formula mein?
Summation of fi xi upon summation of fi. Fi is the denominator.
Yeah, summation of fi, right? What did you actually find the sum of? Check.
Oh no, I get summation of xi.
Yes, I sent my answer.
That is right, Dhruv. That is correct. So be careful about that. That's what I meant. You need to identify what is x, what is f correctly. And nahi to like pura galat ho jayega. The formula and everything was right, but you put the wrong value there. So that's something you need to, application of the formula, you need to do it properly. Abhishek Trivedi got it. Good. Who else? Nikki is correcting it. Okay, Dhruv sent it. Ryan, Aditya, Anirban, Elena, Nancy. All of you guys send it, right? Okay. All right. Amay got disconnected. I don't see his name. Okay. Now we got it. Was that a calculation error or was that a typo, Aditya?
It was actually a calculation error.
Okay. Okay. Neki also got it now. All right. So that is like a pretty direct, straightforward method of calculating mean. But the trouble with that method is like it'll give you a rough idea, like which makes sense. It's fine. Okay. But the main thing is we are assuming that whatever values of data we have, just say if you look at the problem that we just did, we took the class marks for each class interval. So we are assuming that 7 workers jo hai, all of them are having their whatever data this is, height, weight, wage, number of hours jo bhi hai, that to be lying at 5. But that's not information that is given to us directly. We are making that assumption there. We are thinking, soch rahe ki okay, maybe it's around 5, and that's why we're taking 5 into 7 and then calculating it. But the reality could be that, all 7 of them could be centered around, like some of them might have, like out of 7, 3 of them might be around 1, and then one person might have 2, and then 3 of them might have like 6. In that case, it's not perfectly at 5. 5 se thoda sa kam hai na. So finding the mean by this method is not like 100% accurate. It'll just give us like a rough idea. So in order to make it slightly more accurate, we have alternate methods to find mean. So you have direct method, and you find something called deviation, and then you have something like called the assumed mean method. They're just alternate methods of finding mean, with some extra steps involved. Deviation, like going forward, it kind of gives you an idea by how much is it deviating, like from your actual, like each class ka value, how much is the deviation, gives you kind of like that sort of an idea. In future, like when you do proper analysis and all, deviation, mean deviation, all of that like makes more sense. It has a significance there. But abhi ke liye, finding mean by deviation method is also pretty simple. I think assumed mean method is what you have. Step deviation is something that is not there, right? Can you tell me if you guys do step deviation?
No, ma'am.
I think it is
deleted.
cancelled.
No, ma'am, we didn't do
All
it.
right. Okay, so only assumed mean method is there.
Yeah, ma'am, in Billabong, we only did assumed mean and direct mean method.
Direct mean. ठीक है. Okay. So finding the mean by assumed mean method. So just like the name implies, first you're going to find assume a mean. So mean kya hai? It's average of all the values, right? If you had to take a simple case, if I ask you what is the mean of 3, 5, 7, देख के, can you tell me what is the mean of these three numbers?
5.
5. जो भी center में है, that's going to be your mean, right? So that way, when you have like a certain range of values, you can assume कि अच्छा mean is going to be somewhere around here, somewhere like बीच में होगा. So you will assume a particular mean A, and then you'll calculate assumed mean से कितना deviate हो रहा है each of the frequencies. So that's where your deviation comes into picture. So first step, you're assuming a mean that is somewhere central value of all the frequencies you have. So assume mean say you'll find the deviations of each class mark from that mean. So that is what DI is. So each of the frequencies, by how much is it deviating? Okay. So that is given by xi minus a. Then find the mean of all the deviations. Same formula, sigma fi di upon sigma fi. Instead of directly finding the mean of the class marks itself, you're finding what is the mean deviation. And then whatever deviation you get, you add it to your assumed mean. So basically, your actual mean is deviating by this much from whatever you assumed. It's kind of like an indirect method, basically. Okay. So note down these three set of formulas. What is deviation? What is mean deviation? And then what is like, how can you find the mean by assumed mean method? So once you're done with this, we'll do a problem based on assumed mean method.
The deviation and mean deviation are substituted in the assumed mean formula, right?
Not both. So you'll find individual
The
deviations.
first one.
No, you'll find individual deviations. Then you'll find the mean of all of these individual deviations. So DI is used in this particular formula. So once you find the mean
Okay,
deviation,
that
you
is
will
finally used in the main formula.
yes.
Okay.
Ma'am, do you have to copy the other two parts, other two definitions?
Other two matlab kaun sa? The ones without like
Yeah. Yeah.
No. So these are basically related to your step deviation formula. Just note down whatever I highlighted. Make it dark.
Yeah. Done, ma'am.
Done? Okay. Again, whoever is done, raise your hand. Once everybody's done, go. As always, don't just note this and leave it. Also write down what each of these things means. You don't have to write it again and again, but यहाँ पे जो भी use हो रहा है, what is di, what is xi, what is a.
What are the lower two formulas ui and u dash used for?
So this is used for step deviation method.
Okay.
The way assume mean may you have to find deviation for mean deviation and then apply it in the formula, right? So that way step deviation may you need to find these particular values and then you'll apply that in that other formula. So that. But note down, yeah, di, xi, a, d bar, f phi, and x bar. So ye 6 values, just note
So
down.
how many columns will we need now in a table for finding mean
Huh. So you'll be given class and frequency.
and frequency?
You need to find class mark anyway.
Class mark.
Deviation find out करना है. हाँ, FIDI basically. So 5 columns.
Okay.
These 2 will be given. These 3 you need to work out.
And if it would have been direct method, instead of D and FIDI, we had made FIXI.
Yeah. तो इन दोनों के place में just FIX आएगा. Yeah. Okay. Anirban, Aditya, Neil, Amey, Puneet. Once you all are done, and we'll do an example problem. Okay, Puneet and Amey Sonkhaskar. Amey, how much is left? You almost done? What's going on? Amey is also done. ठीक है. Workbook. ठीक है. Do 14.1.4. Like I know in this context, it is asking you find the mean by direct method, but we've learned assumed mean method, right? Just apply it to this. Answer to एक ही आना चाहिए mean का. So frequency F is given. Classes hai ye. So from this.
Ma'am, here the assumed mean will be 7.
No. So again, mean is always a quantity related to this particular side. Frequency kabhi mean median mode nahi ho sakta hai. Mean median mode are a part of your observation. Like when you're observing a whole set of values, unme se central kaun sa hai. So that's what mean median mode represent. So whenever you're thinking assume mean or like anything, you will completely ignore frequency. Okay. So assumed mean ke liye, first you need to find the class marks, because range se to like interval se we can't do any calculation. We need like a specific value, whether to add, subtract, multiply, jo bhi karna hai. So find out the X for each of these classes. Tell me, what did you get X? So what is X for the first class, 7.5 to 12.5?
10.
10.
Okay.
15. 20, 25,
5K
30.
डिफरेंस से चल रहा है. Okay. So now इससे related हमें specific values आ गए ना. So for assumed mean, you will assume the mean to be the central value out of this. So यहाँ पे 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 है. Assume mean will be the central, like assume it to be 20.
Okay, so
in your
assume mean we have to take out of the class mark column.
yes,
And if there were 4, then we take the upper
Take-
value, right? 15.
take the one with greater frequency.
Okay.
So whenever you're doing problems, right, highlight it with your pen this way and then write it somewhere in the corner of the table, a equal to 20. That way you will have it for your own reference also, and then it's easy to see quickly, okay, what is your this thing. And even when you're presenting it to somebody, the corrector, exam corrector, they'll also get a direct idea. They don't have to work very hard for it. So it'll be nice, and it's convenient for your calculations and all also. So now that you found x, fill out the rest of the table. So fi di upon fi ke liye you need di. So deviation is what is the difference between assumed mean with each class interval. Okay, so that would be xi 10 minus 20. So पहला deviation कितना आएगा?
-10.
-10. Yes. Next one also subtract it. Fill out the values. So इसमें you don't have to get worried कि negative values आ रहे हैं. That's the whole point of the deviation. Deviation is just telling you by how much it is deviating. तो अगर negative value आया तो you've assumed more, उसको कम करना पड़ेगा. You'll be left with a negative value. अगर positive value आया तो it is the actual mean is more than your assumed value, so you need to add that particular deviation. So don't worry what values you're getting. Follow the method, like trust the process. Okay. Once you found out D, next column find out FIDI. So again, like frequency into this, whatever you've done for the other thing, same thing. तो यहाँ पे negative value आएगा, don't worry about it. Negative आएगा ही. So once you find out what is D bar, add FIDI, add your F, divide them. And then whatever value you get, you need to add it to your assumed mean. So agar negative value आया, so it means it will be 20 minus something. Positive value आया, so it will be 20 plus something. Another way you can figure out if you're doing it correctly or not is deviation, like D bar hamesha the variation will be very less. So if your assumed mean is 20, you'll get D like 1 point something, 2 point something, that kind of a range. So 20 hai to you won't get like 15 seedha. So deviation is always very close to whatever your assumed mean is, because you're literally taking the central value only. So that way you can check your calculation. Another bit of verification you can do, like without knowing your answer, is whatever final mean ka answer you get should be a central value. That is like 100% sure. So even in direct method, Neki, you had got 1 point something, right? So looking at the answer itself, you can say it's wrong, because if you look at the class intervals, 20 to 30 के बीच में होना चाहिए. It cannot be like extremely low or extremely high. इसलिए they're called like measures of central tendencies. Center के आसपास होना चाहिए. Similarly, in this case also, You literally took 20, which is the central value. It should be very close to 20. Should be somewhere between 17 to 22 only. If you're getting like 3.7, वो तो इस range से बाहर है, so you can assume it कि okay, कहीं पे तो there's a calculation error. Check your answer again. Ritvik, Neil, Puneet have already sent in their answer. It looks correct. Yes, yeah. Raghav, Aditya, awesome. ठीक है. Anirban, okay. Correct. Aditya Mundra, okay. Ananya got it. Who else is left? Elena got it. Okay, Abhishek Trivedi, both the Adityas are done. Amey Sonkhaskar, Dhruv, Mansi, Neki, Ryan, Ritvik.
Ma'am, I'm sending 1 minute.
Okay. Guys, if you finished finding D bar, like mean deviation, you can send that also. Say, figure out if you're right. Dhruv got it. Okay, Mansi got it. Abhishek, fraction में आया what? So is that D bar that you sent? Mean deviation?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Are you sure? Like what formula did you apply for D bar?
Fi di divided by fi.
Sigma, like sum, right?
Yeah.
Are we getting it less than 1? So sigma FIDI, like sum of this, what value did you get?
Minus 20. Oh, yeah, sorry.
40, 20, you put 80 here. Raghav, okay, like pretty much you got the sum then. Final subtraction, if you do it correctly, yeah, that's done. Raghav, you had already sent the answer pehle hi na. Okay. Ritvik is done, Raghav is done, Ryan done, Neet, Nikki, Neil, Mansi.
And I thought you told us to send the D bar also.
No, that was for like whoever had not sent the answer. But yeah. Okay. Much everyone's done. So that's finding mean. We have 2 formulas for it: direct method, assumed mean method. Step deviation, you don't have it, so you can ignore it for now. Now coming to mode. Mode is pretty straightforward, like एक ही formula hai, but it's kind of a slightly complicated formula. Okay. So this is the formula for mode. First of all, conceptually, mode we've already seen. wherever is the maximum frequency, like whichever specific observation has maximum frequency, that is the mode. But now if I have like a group, like continuous distribution, group distribution here, then how can I get the modal value? When I have a range of values, I can get a modal class by looking at the numbers of frequency. But class matlab it's always like 20 to 30 or 25 to 30. It's like a range of values, right? So 25 or 30 ke beech mein, what exactly is my mode? Where is it? What is it? So to get that exact number of, like that represents mode, that's what this formula is meant for. So to start off, from the question that you are given, your first step is to find modal class. So modal class is nothing but same as whatever you guys learned about mode. Jiska bhi,
Class which has the maximum frequency.
correct. So the class that is the mode of all the classes, jiska bhi maximum frequency hai, that's your modal class. So once you found the modal class, rest of it is pretty direct. So modal class, whatever is the maximum frequency, that would be F1. तो इसके ऊपर जो है, that is F0 or F0, is the frequency after this is F2. This is very easy to remember. It is 0, 1, 2, like a trio, triplet. They always come in set. The modal class is always in the center. So once you identify the modal class maximum frequency jiska hai, that is the central value. So that's F1. Iska ek upar is F0, iska ek upar is F2. So once you get the correct values for F1, F0 and F2, rest of it you just have to apply in this formula. Now, apart from the frequency, you have a couple more things going on here. L. L is the lower limit of the modal class. Why are we taking lower limit of the modal class? Again, we have a class interval, let's say 25 to 30. We know that mode is lying somewhere between these two values, but where is it? Is it 27? Is it 26.32? Is it like 28.9? What exactly is it? So we know for a fact it is 25 plus something. So that's why you have your L plus, lower limit of the modal class, plus the rest of the thing, where exactly it falls in the modal class, you'll get by doing this calculation. So F1 minus F0 divided by 2 F1 minus F0 minus F2 into H, where H is the class size. Yeah. So that's kind of how you would interpret the formula roughly. So note down the formula, then we'll do one problem to find the mode. So once we're done with mode, everything is pretty straightforward. Uske baad we'll do median. Median will take a little more complicated than mean and mode. So finish off mode right now. Okay, this done. Okay, keep. Neki, previous question may check the summation of FIDI. So that's where your mistake is. Okay, Puneet, Ananya, and Anirban.
It's minus 40.
Minus 40 much. क्या हुआ? It's like not a big formula, no? Only 5 people done till now. Okay, 6, 7, ठीक है. अभी कर सकते हैं. Okay, so Dhruv, Aditya, Amay, and Puneet. Puneet was done, okay. So just Dhruv, Aditya, and Amay. Let me know if you guys are done. Good. Okay, Amay Sonkaskar, done. So, like, you can just write it the way you would understand it instead of writing preceding the modal class, succeeding the modal class. Just write the one before the modal class, after the modal class. समझ में आसान हो जाएगा. Okay. All right.
Ma'am, here we don't need the class mark column, right?
No. So we'll do one problem for this. Mean step deviation. Mean ही चल रहा है पूरा. Okay. 25, but the table is split. It's not very difficult.
Ma'am, let's do any sum. We'll take out the mode.
ठीक है.
What about 2?
Yeah, just looking at that. Yeah, let's do it with 2. Question number 2 is just find out the mode. So class frequency, mode का formula in order to find out the mode, you need F0, F1, F2, you need L and H. So frequency F1 is for modal class. So इसमें से which one is the modal class?
55 to 65.
55 to 65 maximum frequency के साथ होने वाला. Yep. So this will decide your L. H तो it's the same thing in the whole table. मिल गया. So this is your F1. The one before it, this will be F0. This will be F2. Yeah. So now you just have to apply it directly in the formula. Abhi note kiya formula. So
we
just,
don't have to make any extra column.
no. This is pretty direct. So identify just like in the table, or before you start the question, like the formula and all, write down modal class is 55 to 65. Hence F0 का value लिख लो, F1 का value लिख लो, F2 का value लिख लो, what is L, what is H. So indicate all of these, then put them in the formula and then do the calculation. But when you start the question, because all of these depends on the modal class, start off with modal class equal to 55 to 65. Then all of the rest of the things follow. Yeah, so L plus, it should always be 55 plus. And also because this is the modal class, iska matlab hai mode is somewhere in this class, your final answer should lie between 55 and 65. अगर इससे कम आया या इससे ज्यादा आया, there's some mistake there. So just that's another level of checking you can apply. Aditya, wow, okay. That's what I meant. Like when you run into that sort of a situation, right? Round it off to 2 digits, that is sufficient.
If the modal class is the last class, like if 65 to 75 was the modal class, then what would be put for the
F2.
succeeding class?
That'll become 0 because there's nothing else greater
Okay.
than that, no?
And
But
if 25 to 35 was the modal class, then the preceding class would be 0 as well, right?
yes.
Okay.
But you would not run into such situations when like questions are designed. You won't. So bimodal class also is excluded. Bimodal matlab you won't have any like two classes having the same highest
With the
frequency.
same highest frequency.
Yeah. So that situation also you won't have to deal with now. Okay. Aditya, Ritvik, yes. So when you're doing this, you're writing all of this, right? Write it so that you have a template key. Okay, how do I present it in the exam? This is also for your own clarity. Like before you apply it in the formula, it's good to have all of this list. Then you can blindly put the correct number in the correct place. Don't have to. Abhishek, is that a typo or is that a calculation error? Your answer is off by 1 digit. Dekh lo ek bar.
Yeah, I forgot to round it off.
No, that is not the error. Rounding off error nahi hai. The first digit is wrong. So I'll just do it roughly here. So that'll be 55 plus F1 is so 12 minus 8 by 24 minus 8 minus 4 into H is 10. Huh. So this will be 5 plus 12 minus 8 is 4 by 8 plus 4 is 12. So it will be 12, 10. So 55 plus 10 by 3 is, yes. So Raghav, Mansi, Neil, Ritvik and Aditya have got it. Abhishek, check the calculation. Elena also got it. Puneet got it. 10 by 3, it like ek hi decimal place rahega. So, but that also could not be the issue. I don't know what, like, could be a typo also. Just check what you got in your book and what you sent here, Abhishek. Puneet got it. Okay, who's yet to do? Ryan is yet to send. Nikki is yet to send. Neil is done. Huh, now you got it. Nikki just sent it. Yeah, that is correct. Mansi is done. Elena is also done. Okay. Ananya, you need to add. Like, I don't know what exactly happened there, but 553 nahi ho sakta hai. See? H is multiplied only with this. H is not multiplied with the whole thing. So if that was a mistake you had done.
Ma'am, I'll recheck.
What you did looks like you did L into H. You basically multiplied H with L also and this also. वो गलत है. L plus H is multiplied only with this frequency wala value. Aditya Mundra is correct. Anirban, no. 55 plus. ये वाला fraction में there's some issue. Check the calculation again. You should get 12 minus 8 divided by 24 minus 8 minus 4. Yeah, Nikki, yeah, this is neat. Correct. So isme you don't have to write the table. If you want, you can. Otherwise, it's not necessary. The main point is, did you find the correct?
Yeah, I got that. For mode, we don't need the table, really. But for other two, like mean we needed because we had added 2 more columns.
Yes. Anirban needs to check his calculation. Ananya also needs to check her calculation. Okay, everyone else done? Dhruv, did you send in your answer? No. Yeah, Anirban, now we got it. Yeah, what did you write it as 10 by 4? No, that also wouldn't make sense.
His calculation is 4 by 12 and forgot my 1 by 3.
Dhruv, like I literally just said, 55 and 65 के बीच में आना चाहिए. So you'll get 55 plus something. How did your answer go all the way back? Okay, Dhruv got disconnected. And then yeah, now we got it. Was that the issue? Like, did you multiply L also with 10?
Yes, ma'am, I multiplied them together. That was it.
No, H is multiplied only with the second part. See, I explained the logic also. Like mode is between 55 to 65, right? So you're adding 55 plus something. So don't disturb this 55. Whatever calculation is there is only for the like H multiplied by only this.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Is anybody else pending? Like,
Yes.
yeah, Dhruv. Oh yeah, you're back. What happened, Dhruv?
Hello.
Like, can you tell me what was your calculation?
Hello, Miss.
Yeah.
Miss, isn't FI 40?
40 कहाँ से आया?
Miss 6, 18, 28, 30, 36, 40, yeah. Miss, second question, no?
Second question, but finding the mode for this table. Did you?
Which I sent mean.
you-
I sent mean, sorry.
This is what we were doing, no? Like I was discussing a formula and then application of that formula. So, abhi mode discuss kiya and then couldn't immediately find a question for mode specifically. Figured we'll use this table to find mode. Okay, so just correct it through, like just leave some space, then we'll start discussing median.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Median is kind of complicated. So, pehle, okay, median is like the centermost values, right? Like whatever set of values you have, usme central value kaun sa hai, you need to find out that. Similar to mode, again, median value, you figure out what is the median class. सबसे center वाला class कौन सा रहेगा, like central value का related class कौन सा रहेगा, and then you do some calculation to figure out the exact median value. Again, I'll take it up with an example to figure out what is happening here. Okay.
How do we find the median class?
Yeah. So first, if I have a set of values, like, so one advantage you have with group distribution is वो हमेशा ascending order में ही है. So if I give you random values like 3, 4, 8, 9, 11, 17, 24, 29. What is the median in this whole set of value? Or let's make it all easier. Yeah, which one is the median in this set of values?
11.
So ऊपर से you went 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth step पे, नीचे से भी 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth step. This is like dead center of this whole set. So you got 11. So let me introduce frequency in this. ये सारे different values हैं. So suppose I have 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 7, 7, 9, 11, 13, 13. अभी मीडियन क्या रहेगा?
Seven.
7. So we have total we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 values are there. So 12 values matlab somewhere around 6, 7.
6 and 7th.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So
4
4
and 7. But then you said with the highest number.
No. That is for mode. This is a completely different thing. We're looking at median now. So median is between 4 and 7. दोनों के बीच में होगा. Okay, let's make things slightly easier.
No, between, but what will the median class be then?
तो यहाँ पे कोई class नहीं है ना. So we are not talking about median classes yet. All these are individual values. So add another 3 here. So which is the central value अभी इसमें in the set?
Seven.
7 or 4?
Sorry, I'm 4.
Okay, so if I count as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th value है ऊपर से 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th value है नीचे से. This is the central value. 4 is the median, right? Now if I were to convert this into a frequency distribution table. So the set of values I have are 3, and then I have 3 of those. 4, I have 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I have 7, 2 of those. 9, I have only 1. 11, I have only 1. And I have 13, and I have 2 of those. Abhi, if I didn't give you this, and if I asked you to find median from this table, so how will you find it? What will be the median value in this scenario? So remember in 9th standard, you learned a formula. What is the median value ka formula when you're given n values? If there are n observations, तो median value कौन सा है?
n plus 1 by 2.
N plus 1 by 2 when n equal to odd or even, like you have that thing, right? Yeah. So in that, n is the total number of observations. So here also you have to apply the same thing. Like sure, your observations are 3, 4, 7, 9, 11, 13, but each one is being repeated multiple number of times. So in this set, what is the value of n you're getting?
Six.
6 here. You have 3 3s, 4 4s. Like this is your
Oh,
frequency.
13.
Total 13 observations.
I'm not getting it.
13.
What do you mean by frequency?
Number of that term repeating.
Yeah, number of times that observation is happening, like occurring. Observation exists in that particular data set, right? So if I create this table, and n is like the total number of observations. N is basically your sum of all the frequencies. So when I present this table to you, this set to you, and I asked you what is the total number of observations I have, what
So
will
sum
be
of frequencies.
sum of frequencies? So that's how I got n equal to
Okay.
13. So abhi yahan pe, if I have to find what is the median value, so for 13 observations, which observation will be the median? Like sixth one,
N
seventh,
by 2.
ninth one, n plus 1 by 2, right? So using that, tell me in this particular case, which one is the median frequency?
4.
4, because I've listed down this whole thing here, but directly from the table, how will you figure it out? So if I have
Checking the middle.
So if I have 13 values, which value will be my median? Like sixth value,
Seven.
By 2.
seventh value will be my median, right? So now your task is to figure out seventh value kaun sa hai. So yahan pe we have 3 values, like 3 of them are 3. So 1, 2, 3 ho gaya. Now 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 of them are 4, which means 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. So 7th value is 4. So that's how you can figure out the median in a grouped this thing. Now, essentially what I did is, instead of manually counting 7th value kaun sa hai, I can prepare something called cumulative frequency table. So from the given table, I'll create a cumulative frequency. Cumulative matlab all added up. So 3 tak, how many frequencies, like how many observations I have? I have 3.
Okay, so we write 3,
And
then
4,
7,
3 and
then
4
9.
together, add both of these, I get 7. 3, 4, 7 together, add all of them, I get 9.
9.
1. Yeah. So median ke case mein, because of this logic, because I want to figure out ki 7th kaun sa hai, like if I have 100, to fir 50th kaun sa hai. Like because of that, I create something called cumulative frequency. Now that I know that acha 7th one mera median hai, so I can directly look for 7 here and say ki acha 4 is my median observation. Now this is simple because, like this I got directly after finding out cumulative frequency, because mera observation is like right here. Now just like with mode, instead of 3, 4, 7, 9, if I have continuous classes, like different class interval, that is the reason there is this whole formula applied. So you can see the formula also looks very similar to what you had with mode. So it is L plus, यहाँ पे भी L plus है, into H भी है, इधर भी into H है. Only the middle thing is changing. because यहाँ पे you're using the modal frequency to get that value. Here you're using the median value to get that, that median value, like median किस frequency पे आएगा, you're using that to get your median value. So this is the formula, median equal to L plus n by 2 minus Cf upon F into H. Note down the formula. Then I'll discuss what each of these variable means. And once this is done, I'll do one question with you guys. How to create that cumulative frequency, like how to find that out, how to get the frequency of median class, all of those things, I'll do it with you guys. For now, just note down the formula. Then we'll do a question together. As always, once you have finished noting down, just raise your hand and we'll start the question. Okay, so Aditya and Amay, just waiting for you guys. Amay is also done. Huh. Aditya Mundra, where are you guys? Where are you?
Ma'am, I forgot to raise my hand. I had done earlier.
Okay. So median equal to L plus n by 2 minus Cf upon F into H. So you've written these things also, right? L, just like with mode, जैसे modal class देखा है, with median you need to identify the median class and all the variables are related to that. So L is the lower limit of the median class. N is the total number of observations, like sum of all frequencies. CF is cumulative frequency of the class before the median class. F is the frequency of the median class and H is the class size. So we'll do one example question. That way it kind of starts making sense, helps you figure out how to apply this also. अभी median के लिए I think median के questions start from level 2 onwards.
Ma'am, there are questions in level 1 of India. There's one question.
Oh,
Oh, there's more than.
can you tell me the
Ma'am, it's all over the place. 14.1.43.
43? Oh yeah, median. There it is. Okay. But these are like, again, level 1 questions, right? Like figuring out what it is. I want to do a whole proper question.
Mom, just give us any table.
Now again, like I don't want the calculation to get extremely complicated. Found it. Look at
Ma'am, what about 14.2.22?
14.2.5. This is pretty direct. So you have 100 surnames were randomly picked up from a local telephone directory, whatever. You pick some name and then you created this table. Ki number of letters kitne hai. So there were number of letters between 1 to 4. They found 6 surnames. 4 to 7 ke beech mein there have 30 surnames. So yeah, this is the thing. So these are the classes, like this is your X and this is your number of surnames is F. So median calculate karne ke liye, because you need to create a cumulative frequency distribution table like separately, you need to write down the table again, just like you had to do with mean. This I'll just do it on the whiteboard, okay? So you guys also note it down along with me. I'll also like quickly create the table here.
Ma'am, can you show the data once?
Yeah, it's like this is the table. So 1 to 4 is 6, 4 to 7 is 30.
Ma'am, the cumulative frequency that we have to take, it should be of the previous class, right?
Yeah, previous like median class ka one above it. So n by 2 के पहले वहां तक कितने आ रहे हैं? That's what you're looking at. So it's the previous one. So you have classes. So you have 1 to 4, 4 to 7, 7 to 10, 10 to 13. कहाँ तक जा रहा है ये? 13 to 16, 16 to 19. Frequency given as 6, 30, 40.
100 in total.
16, 4, 4. Okay. So first, find out total number n. Kitna aa raha hai? Adding up. That you're given in the question also. They took 100 surnames, so this should add up to 100. Okay. Now, make a third column for cumulative frequency. So cumulative is wahan tak kitne values hai total. So if I consider 1 to 4, up to 4, how many, what is my frequency up to 4 total? 6.
6.
Next
Then
is
36.
right. So now we need to count everything from 1 se leke 7 tak. So what is my cumulative till there?
36.
36. Then 1 se leke 10
76.
tak is total of all of this.
76.
Similarly, continue. Up to 13, what do I have?
92.
This is 96. And then 1.
96 and 100.
So this is again at this point, once you calculate cumulative frequency, So all of my data is fitting from 1 to 19, right? So the final value that you get for cumulative frequency should always match the total number that you get over here. So if these two are not matching, there is some calculation mistake you've made. So you can like stop there and correct that. But if these two are matching, then proceed. Okay. Abhi median class ke liye, median is the centermost class, right? Central value jo bhi hai. Abhi if I have 100 observations, where is my center lying?
50th.
50. So as a shorthand, median class ke liye you need to find n by 2 kitna hai. That is 100 by 2. That is 50. तो मेरा 50th observation कहाँ पे होगा? So 6 तक यहाँ पे है, 36 तक यहाँ पे है. Now up to 76 is here, which means 50th also is somewhere between these two. So basically I'm getting it in 7 to 10. Okay. So 50th observation kahan pe hai, that we need to see. So this will be my median class. So median class is 7 to 10. So this is your key point because your whole formula is depending on you figuring this out correctly. Your L, your F, CF, like all of that depends on this. So you're essentially what you're doing is n by 2, like central value kahan pe hai, you're trying to estimate it. इसलिए you figured out the cumulative, 36 तक यहाँ पे cover हो गया, then 37, 38, 39, like all of that is falling in this particular interval. So 50th also is falling in this particular interval. Up to 76 you're getting here. So this is your median class. So now that you figured out the median class, you have your L, which is 7 in this case. N by 2 aa gaya. F is frequency of the median class, so that's 40. CF is cumulative till before the median class. So this is your CF 36. And or kya chahiye? H is your class size. Got that there. Class size is 3. And just apply the formula to find the median, and you got it. Okay, some people have already sent answers. Puneet and Raghav has sent the same answer. Anirban thoda sa difference aa raha hai. Ritvik bahut sara difference aa raha hai. Ritvik, there's a
I took H.
हाँ, again, just like with mode and mean, your median class is 7 to 10. Matlab, your median should fall in between 7 to 10. Which makes sense, right? Like maximum number, 50th value, like 70 tak, if it's between 7 to 10, your 50th value also somewhere it'll be within this. So Anirban, I think check your calculation because decimals may difference aa raha hai. So I think this part of the calculation you made some mistake maybe. हाँ, अभी ठीक आया. Dhruv, check again. 1.05 आया या 1.5 आया? Just check.
Ma'am, is my answer correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mrs. Sorry, it's 0.5.
Abhishek Trivedi got it. Aditya got it. Ritvik, yes, now you got it. So did you guys get the logic behind how to figure out the median class? उसके लिए cumulative frequency क्यों चाहिए, all of that?
Ma'am, I didn't really understand which cumulative frequency do we have to take for which class?
Okay, so median class, so cumulative frequency, like mode ke liye it's pretty straightforward. Whichever is the maximum, that's your modal class, because that's what is the meaning of mode.
Yeah, I've
Median,
understood how to find the median class, but not the cumulative frequency.
oh, cumulative frequency is basically cumulative of all the frequencies. Cumulative, like if I have to say the meaning of it all together. So यहाँ पे for the class 1 to 4, cumulative frequency is all of the values until 4. How many are there? Basically, you can think of this as less than 4. How many values less than 4 do you have?
6.
So 6 is the cumulative. Now you went one step ahead till 7. So think of this as less than 7. How many values do you have less than 7?
36 plus, I mean 30 plus 6, 36.
Then this will be less than 10.
Okay, but while taking the CF in the equation, like do we have to take the CF of the interval that is above our modal, I mean median interval?
Yes. So the one
Okay.
preceding the median thing. Yeah. The reason is that the 50th one is your median, right? So basically you're taking into account everything before that, and then you're doing, okay, like 50 minus 36, how many are there? And you're dividing that by 4. Like, your median is lying among one of these 40. So your class size is 7 to 10, right? So among these 3 units, you have 40 of your observations that are distributed in these 3 units between 7 to 10. Out of that, 50th one is your thing. So it's kind of like a unitary method that you're using. Out of these 40, 36 to gaya. After 36, you're counting until like 50 remaining, like you're trying to arrive at the 50th observation, and then hence you're doing like this sort of a calculation there. So that's why frequency is 40, and then your cumulative frequency, you take it the one preceding this one. Cool. Elena, Mansi, Ananya, Neil, all of you have got it. Okay, so median calculation aa gaya.
Even I have sent you on WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, let me check. Nice. Okay, table CF, figured out the median class, highlighted it, applied the formula. Sahi hai. Okay. All right. So before we go forward, it's already beyond 5. Does anybody have like any other engagements, any other classes or anything else that you need to do?
Yes, ma'am, I would have to leave now.
Yeah, ma'am, even I.
Me too.
Yeah.
I have a class at 5:30, but it's physical, so I'll be leaving
you have
for
to-
there in like 5 minutes.
Okay, because only ogives are left. I don't want it to. Ogives are graph.
Ma'am, we don't have that.
You don't have that.
Ma'am, we have only
No, graphs are not
medium
there.
mode.
Yeah, ma'am, it's deleted.
Ma'am,
Not have.
graphical representation
Yes,
is not
ma'am.
there.
So class के सबसे पहले I asked yes ogives है क्या? You said yes, you have
No,
it.
no, I got confused.
Ma'am, I
We had
wanted to
done
say
it
no, but
earlier,
then
but now graphical is deleted.
Okay, ठीक है.
Now we have completed everything.
Okay, तो इतना ही है. ठीक है. So these are like your basics, and then you have some questions where you're already given the median, but one of these frequencies will be missing. But otherwise, the process is the same, just that beach mein variables rahega. Yeah, practice it. Case of any doubts, any problem you're not able to do it, we'll figure out, we'll make a class for doubt clarification or something, and we'll tackle that. Okay. So 15 questions from yesterday's circles, and today I'll give about another 10 to 12 more, like 3 or 4 from mean, median, mode. finish it by Sunday, like use this weekend, complete both these chapters properly.